Hey there. Ready for a deep dive in something really cool? We're talking AI, but not just any AI. This is about making those intimidating financial topics, project and export financing, well, a little less intimidating.
What I find really fascinating about FreeSma is how they're aiming to bridge this knowledge gap. I mean, these financing areas are super important for the global economy, but they're often shrouded in mystery for so many people. So the idea of an AI tool simplifying it all, it has huge potential impact.
And it seems like they get that. Like right off the bat, their website hits you with questions like, what is the difference between project and export financing? And how are state credit insurers different from private ones? It's like they're reading my mind after a particularly long day.
Yeah, those are definitely common stumbling blocks. To put it simply, imagine project financing as funding something like a massive solar farm. The project itself, the future energy it generates, that's what secures the financing. Export financing, on the other hand, that's more about making sure, let's say, a local artisan gets paid for those beautiful handmade goods they're shipping overseas. So two different goals, two different approaches. Okay, so one's about building something big, and the other is about making sure businesses get paid for what they send out. Got it. Now, what about these credit insurers? What's the deal with them?
Think of them like specialized insurance policies for these types of endeavors. State-backed insurers often support projects in developing countries to promote economic growth, while private insurers are more focused on commercial risks, like if a buyer doesn't pay up. So choosing between them is kind of like picking the right insurance for your phone. You wouldn't get a waterproof case if you never take it outside, right?
Exactly. It's all about assessing the risks and finding the right fit. And that's where FreeSma comes in. They're trying to make these complex decisions less daunting. They say their PEF coach is user-friendly, personalized, even drawing on OECD documents, basically all the good stuff.
Okay, hold on a sec. OECD documents.
Yeah?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not super familiar with those.
Yes, good point. OECD, that's the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They publish guidelines and best practices for things like export credits and financing. So FreeSma is implying that PEF Coach integrates all of this knowledge.
So it's like having this mini encyclopedia of expert advice all baked into the AI. Now, I get why that's a big deal, but is it really all it's cracked up to be? Can PEF Coach actually deliver on these promises of user-friendliness and personalized learning?
That is the million-dollar question. And a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing. But research shows that user-friendly design is absolutely critical for any learning tool, especially when you're dealing with complex topics like this. I mean, people just won't engage with it if it's not easy to use. Actually, there was a fascinating study from Navy University that found...
Hold on, before we go too far down that research rabbit hole, let's talk about this personalized learning they keep mentioning. And how exactly are these OECD documents being used?
Excellent questions. And that's where things get a bit vague. FreeSma's aspirations are admirable and potentially achievable as AI technology gets even better, but the website doesn't give any concrete examples. Without those, it's hard to really assess the depth of personalization or how well those OECD resources are actually being integrated.
So a bit of a wait-and-see approach is needed. It's exciting for sure, but maybe not time to hand over our financial planning just yet.
Precisely. But, there's another layer to this story I find really interesting, the human element. Let's talk about Ismail-Martens, the force behind FreeSma.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Iman's got this impressive background. 20 years in project and export financing. She definitely knows her stuff.
And that's what makes her involvement so compelling. She's not just some AI enthusiast dipping her toes into the world of finance. She's a seasoned professional who really understands the challenges. Plus, she was actually a beta user of similar AI tools before starting FreeSma.
Wait, beta user?
Yeah.
For those of us who aren't, living on the cutting edge, what does that even mean?
It means she was testing and giving feedback on these AI tools during their development, before they were available to the public. So this suggests she's got a deep, hands-on understanding of what they can and can't do.
Okay, so she's not just talking the talk. She's been in the trenches with these tools. I even read she's an angel investor in AI startups.
Exactly. That speaks volumes about her commitment to this field. She's putting her money where her mouth is. It shows a real belief in AI's power to completely transform finance.
So it sounds like it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the expertise behind it. And that combo seems to be at the heart of FreeSma's mission right then.
Yeah, that's a key point. Their goal is to make this specialized knowledge accessible. Instead of it being locked away in complex documents or expensive consultant fees.
It's like having a seasoned pro on call whenever you need them.
Precisely. Imagine understanding those OECD guidelines in a snap, or grasping those subtle differences in financing structures. and all without needing to dig through mountains of paperwork.
Okay, I like where you're going with this. Picture this. You're a small business owner. You're about to dive headfirst into your first international deal. Things feel a little overwhelming, right? But then, boom, you've got PEF Coach by your side. It's like having your own personal guide through the world of export financing.
That's the potential impact here. It's about giving individuals and businesses the tools to handle these complex situations with more confidence and understanding. And, this goes way beyond just project and export financing.
Oh, okay, now you've got to tell me more about that.
This is bigger than just one company or one sector. FreeSma's is riding a wave. We're seeing AI being used to democratize knowledge across the board.
So it's not just finance, it's everything.
Exactly. Think about medicine law engineering. Imagine AI tools helping doctors stay up to date on the latest research, or assisting lawyers with those super complicated legal precedents.
So basically, it's like having a personalized research assistant, always there working in the background, making sure you've got the most relevant info. That's incredible.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential. But of course, it's still early days. There are hurdles to overcome, like ensuring accuracy and addressing any biases in the data. And we need to make sure everyone has access to these tools.
Right, those are all important points. Definitely something to keep an eye on. But focusing on FreeSma, it seems like they're onto something pretty promising, don't you think?
I'd agree. Their approach is unique, combining Iman's deep expertise with the potential of AI. Definitely a company to watch.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Why should you care about AI changing specialized fields like finance?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? We're at this really interesting point where technology is changing how we live and work.
And this isn't some distant future we're talking about, right?
Absolutely not. It's happening right now. This deep dive into FreeSma, it's a perfect example of how AI is reshaping things. It's not science fiction anymore. It's about how we access and engage with knowledge.
So no matter who you are, seasoned exec or just starting out, this is something you need to know about.
Exactly. Think about your own field. What skills and knowledge are essential? Could AI tools like FreeSma's PEF Coach make things easier? Could they help you make smarter decisions and handle tough situations with more confidence?
Those are some great questions to think about. Speaking of questions, remember those first few on FreeSma's website, the ones that got us started on this whole deep dive?
You mean the ones about project versus export financing and the different types of credit insurers?
Exactly. Yeah, those questions really show how much we need someone to just lay it all out for us, to make these complicated topics easier to understand. But here's a thought. What other questions in any field could AI help us answer better? What about your field?
That's a fantastic question to end on. It makes you realize that AI's potential isn't just about giving us the answers. It's about helping us ask better, more insightful questions in the first place.
It's not just about the geeky details then. It's about how it can actually change things for the better.
Absolutely. Now, whether FreeSma's PEF Coach will achieve everything it sets out to, well, that remains to be seen. But their ambition and what it represents for the future, that's undeniable.
AI is changing how we think about specialized knowledge, and that's something we all need to be paying attention to. A huge thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into AI and finance.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.